Hello, and welcome back to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about building the habits, mindset, and resilience needed to become the strongest version of ourselves. Today, I want to talk about something that is not always comfortable, but is absolutely necessary if we want to grow. That is the practice of regularly assessing our own strengths and weaknesses as objectively as possible. Self-discipline is often talked about as if it was just about pushing harder. Work harder, wake up earlier, stay focused longer. And yes, effort definitely matters, but effort without awareness can lead you in circles. You can work incredibly hard and still not make meaningful progress if you are blind to the habits, attitudes, or patterns holding you back. That is why self-assessment matters. Think about it this way. If you were driving across the country and never checked your map, your fuel gauge, or whether you were still heading in the right direction, eventually you would end up lost. Life works the same way. Goals require regular course correction. The problem is that most of us have blind spots. We all do. There are weaknesses we minimize, excuses we justify, habits we pretend are harmless. Maybe you tell yourself that scrolling on your phone for an hour each night is unwinding, when really it is stealing time from sleep, learning, or planning. Maybe you convince yourself you work well under pressure, when in reality, you're just procrastinating until panic forces action. Blind spots are dangerous because they often feel normal. At the same time, we can also overlook our strengths. Maybe you're naturally organized. Maybe you're dependable. Maybe you are disciplined in one area of your life, but have never thought to apply that same discipline elsewhere. Recognizing strengths is just as important because those strengths can become tools. So how do we assess ourselves honestly? First, schedule it. Do not wait until life falls apart to reflect. Build in regular checkpoints. Weekly works for some people. Monthly works for others, but put it on a calendar. Ask yourself real questions. Where am I making progress? Where am I stuck? What habits are helping me? What habits are hurting me? Am I following through on commitments? Am I making excuses? Am I spending my time in ways that align with my goals? Those questions matter because they force honesty. Second, use measurable data whenever possible. Feelings can be misleading. You might feel productive because you were busy all day, but were you effective? Track the things that matter. How many workouts did you complete this week? How much money did you save? How many hours did you spend learning versus consuming entertainment? How many days did you stick to your morning routine? Data cuts through emotion. Numbers do not care about your excuses. Third, seek outside feedback. This one can be hard because feedback can sting. But trusted friends, mentors, coworkers, or family members can often see what you can't. Ask someone you trust this simple question. What is one strength I underuse and one weakness I need to improve? You might hear something uncomfortable. Good. Growth often begins with discomfort. Now here is the key. Assessment without action is useless. It is not enough to identify weaknesses. You have to create a plan. If you discover procrastination is your biggest issue, maybe you start using time blocks or setting deadlines earlier than necessary. If poor sleep is ruining your energy and discipline, maybe you create a nighttime routine and stop screen time earlier. If inconsistency is the problem, focus on systems rather than motivation. And if something you are doing is working, double down on it. Too often we spend all our energy trying to fix weaknesses while ignoring strengths that can carry us further. The goal here is not perfection. The goal is awareness and improvement. This is not about beating yourself up. This is about taking inventory. It is about asking honestly, is what I am doing making me better? Because discipline is not just grinding harder. It is adjusting smarter. The strongest people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who notice failure quickly, learn from it, and adapt. That is how you forge indestructible self-discipline, by being honest enough to see your flaws, wise enough to recognize your strengths, and disciplined enough to make changes. So here's your challenge for this week. Set aside 30 minutes. Grab a notebook. Review your habits, your routines, your progress, and your excuses. Write down 3 strengths you lean into. Write down 3 weaknesses you need to address. Write down 1 concrete action you will take immediately. Not next month, not someday, today. Because every better version of yourself begins with honest self-awareness. I want to thank you for listening to the Forging Indestructible Self-Discipline. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who is serious about growth. And remember, discipline is not built in comfort. It is forged through honesty, consistency, and action. Till next time, keep forging.